Damasio. I'm the president of Hawaii Electric Light Company, and I really appreciate you all taking the time to come and meet with us this evening. The topic is integrated resource planning, and we'd like to seek your input on what you think the utilities direction should be. Energy is a very important issue for all of us, and we shouldn't, as a utility, plan in a vacuum. And we are glad that you're here tonight to give us your feedback and give us information as to what you think or what you would like to see in our plans going forward. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce some people who are here tonight. First of all, I'd like to introduce Jeffrey Ono from the Consumer Advocate Office. Jeff. We have here also from the Public Utilities Commission, on Island Representative David Ortiz. Thanks for coming. And then in the integrated resource planning process, it's a process overseen by the Public Utilities Commission. We have an independent entity that works directly for the Public Utilities Commission, and he's here tonight, Carl Friedman. I don't see, as part of the process, we have a formal advisory group, a group of community members that provide us advice and guidance and input. And I don't see any of the members here. Do we have any of the members? Oh, Barry Mizuno, I'm sorry, came in after I wrote down some names. So Barry Mizuno is on the advisory group. So thanks for coming tonight, Barry. Anyone else? And I'd like to recognize John Olson. John was part of our advisory group when HELCO had its own independent integrated resource planning process. So John, thank you for all your years of service and help. Tonight we're going to have a presentation by one of our employees, Pat Moore. Pat's inside there. But before we get into the presentation, I'd like to have our own employees introduce themselves and just give a brief description of their role at home. So starting with Virginia.
Aloha, I'm Virginia Aircom Barnes. I am the Educational Services Administrator for HELCO. I go out to the communities and into our schools and do educational activities with them and teach them about it.
Robin?
Hi, I'm Norm Verbanek. I'm the manager of the production department, and that involves all the power plants on the island, all the independent power producers, and operation of the grid.
Hi, I'm Carla Chitwood, and I'm the director of the HR team. So I'm responsible for any of the employee development, recruitment, anything of that nature as far as employees are concerned.
Hi, I'm Deborah Gomez-Ota. I'm a planning engineer in our engineering department, and I work on this integrated resource planning and generation planning.
I'm Curtis Beck, manager of the Energy Services Department, and among many other duties, we host meetings like this for the public.
Hi, I'm Kristen Okinaka. I am an integrated lead in the Energy Services Department.
I'm Matt Moore. I'm the Energy Services Administrator for HELCO.
I'm Amanda Lee. I work on commercial accounts and also some of the renewable energy programs for HELCO.
Thank you. So again, I want to emphasize that we're here to listen.
thank you all for coming this evening. We really appreciate your being here, and we look forward to hearing your thoughts and comments and ideas. We're going to go till about 8 o'clock tonight with this discussion together. I have been asked to come and to assist this evening as a facilitator. A facilitator really has sort of a different function from a moderator. I'm not here to just introduce speakers, but actually to create an environment so that all voices are heard, so that you are heard and that you feel comfortable in expressing your thoughts and comfortable in completing your thoughts and getting them across. So what you will see me do is, you may have spoken and then you've got your hand up and you're trying to get my attention again. What I am looking for is to make sure that all voices are heard, that no one voice dominates, and so to give as many people an opportunity to speak before I may return to you. It's not that I'm ignoring you. I'm just looking to assure that all voices are heard. I'm hoping that when we speak this evening, that we speak with an open heart. I'm hoping that the people who are listening with open minds. I am hoping that when we speak to one another, that we speak with respect and kindness. We treat one another with aloha. And so when we leave here, we leave knowing more, feeling better about what we've heard, and giving some good information, I think, to our hosts here this evening, HELCO. So thank you for allowing me to help be part of this process, and for allowing me to be here and to learn from all of you. And now I'd like to introduce Pat Moore, who I think is going to talk a bit about some of these scenarios. Pat's going to talk for about 15 minutes. I'm wondering if we can let him just complete his presentation and not interrupt him with questions or something. So if you have a thought or a question, make a note over in the margin of your paper. But let's see if we can't let him go through his presentation uninterrupted, and then I'll come back up and we would like to hear from you. Aloha, Pat.
Aloha. Good evening. So as Jay and Nell said, we appreciate you being here tonight and we look forward to hearing your comments. The purpose of this meeting is to hear from you, so I'm going to try to keep my presentation relatively brief. So there's a handout which you were provided tonight, and we didn't pick one up, there's several here on the table. But this will go into a bit more detail regarding the planning scenarios that we'll be mentioning. There's also, excuse me, one moment. Kristen, could you get it here? So there's also a great deal of information available on the IRP website, which has been set up by the Public Utilities Commission and entity. And you can see it up there as irpie.com. And besides being able to provide comments verbally tonight or on the comment cards that we provided, and these can be dropped into the box over there on the table if you would like to make comments and write them down. Or you can send your comments via email to the website on the bottom there, public@irpie.com. So what is integrated resource planning, or IRP? IRP is the planning process utilities use to determine what resources, what energy mix should be used to meet future energy needs. Can you go back once? That's okay. So, before I forget, all of the comments that are provided tonight and at our other public meetings will be posted on the IRP website. And They'll provide you an opportunity to see what others are saying about the IRP process and our scenarios and what they would like the future to be like. Not only on this island, but from Oahu, Maui, Molokai, and Lanai. So that's a good site to go to for a lot of information. So again, IRP, the planning process, the utilities used to determine how we're going to meet future energy needs. The IRP process is cyclical in nature and is repeated every 3 years, so we can take into account changing circumstances and conditions. So the Public Utilities Commission has defined the goal of IRP, and I won't go and read the whole entire thing, but I would like to point out some key terms. And the first one being the action plan. An action plan is an implementation plan or schedule of specific programs, actions, and resource options. That's one of the outcomes, the main outcomes of the IRP planning process. The overall IRP, you can think of it as being a 20-year planning period. And the action plan are those implementation steps that we'll take during the first 5 years. So that's why a lot of focus is placed on the action plan. Next slide, please. The new to the IRP process at this time is the inclusion of scenarios. And scenarios means a manageable range of possible future circumstances, uncertainties, or risks facing the utility and its customer. And it's the scenarios which will be used for the basis for the plans analyzed. And the plans we're referring to in this context are the resource plans. Next slide. So what's a resource plan? A resource plan is a set of programs, actions, or resources resulting from the analysis performed on the scenarios. So we have the scenarios which we're going over soon. Those scenarios will allow us to come up with multiple resource plans, and we will then look at those resource plans and come up with an action plan. So the Public Utilities Commission has also set a schedule for IRP. This cycle started in March of this year. The advisory group, which was established by the Public Utilities Commission, was established on June 29th of this year, and the utilities have 1 year from that date, or until June 29th of 2013, to file our IRP plan and action plan with the Commission. And as John and Barry know from previous IRPs, that's a very truncated and compressed schedule. We have a lot of work to do in a very short period of time. There have been 6 AG meetings, advisory group meetings, held so far, and besides this current series of public meetings that we're holding tonight, tomorrow night in Waikoloa, and Thursday night in Pahala, we will be coming back out to the community in the spring, probably May or June time frame, probably before June for sure. You have to get that plan written up and submitted. But in the May or so time frame with the draft action plan. So there will be different opportunities for you to comment, and you can comment as the process goes along at the IRP website if you'd like to. Next slide, please. So we've been working with a 68-member advisory group over the past 4 months. And one of the things that we did in the summer was the development of some specific objectives for this IRP plan. And those 7 objectives, in no order of significance, are protect Hawaii's culture and communities, protect Hawaii's environment, reduce dependency on imported fossil fuels and improve price stability, provide electricity at a reasonable cost, increase the use of indigenous energy resources, provide reliable service, and improve operating flexibility. So what does this all mean? It means that the utilities have to develop plans that are balanced, not only in the short term, but in the long term, that consider reliability, cost, renewable energy levels, as well as statutory requirements. And all of this needs to be done in a way that is respectful of the community and the public input. Lastly, it does mean that the plans that we come up with have to be reasonable and sensible as we look at a very uncertain energy future. So we saw a definition of scenarios. The scenario planning is a planning process that recognizes that the future is very uncertain. It's a way of looking at multiple futures, multiple probable futures that could come about. Previously, in the old IRP, we tried to select a single most probable plan that we built an action plan around. With this IRP planning cycle, we'll be looking at multiple futures and developing resource plans around a spectrum of possible futures. So for IRP, we need to identify a series of multiple futures that are probable that could impact energy planning. And then we'll develop the resource plans around those multiple futures. And from the various resource plans, we'll consider where they're similar and where they're different. And by that process, we'll be able to make a good judgment, a well-informed judgment on what should be in the action plan. And that, again, is a 5-year action plan that lays out the steps to be taken in those first 5 important years. Next slide. So working closely with the advisory group, 4 scenarios were developed, which we'll use in the analysis phase to come up with various resource plans. You can think of the scenarios as representing stories of possible futures that could occur. And the whole idea of scenario planning is to expand your thinking, to think of outside limits of where the future might go, but are still probable, so that you can be prepared as things change. So again, on your handout, you have a detailed write-up of what the full scenarios look like. This is just an abbreviated version that points out some of the major aspects of those. We try to come up with some catchy terms to give you an idea of what the following scenarios are. But the first one is blazing bold frontier. And this is a future that's principally characterized by high oil prices and aggressive policies for supporting clean energy. Stuck in the middle, that's where we have moderate but growing oil prices, but where there's some indecision about what plans to implement and when. No burning desire is a future principally characterized by lower oil prices, where there's a lessening emphasis on clean energy policies. And the fourth one, moved by passion. And this again is where we would have growing but moderate oil prices, but there's still aggressive energy policies being pursued. So where are we at currently in the process? We're right now going to start soon the analysis phase, and that will take a couple of months before we get that done. And that will again result in numerous resource plans that will then prepare us to